Hello, today we are talking about spatial reasoning and creative thinking, a project for Math 298. Today, we will be talking about what spatial reasoning is, how it helps us education majors, and how we use it in our day-to-day lives. What is spatial reasoning? According to 123test.com, spatial reasoning is a category of reasoning skills that refers to the capacity to think about objects in 3 dimensions and to draw conclusions about those objects from limited information. Someone with good spatial abilities might also be good at thinking about how an object will look when rotated. These skills are valuable in many real-world situations and can be improved with practice. Spatial reasoning is a theory that people can choose to believe. Studies have shown that you are born with spatial awareness. For example, infants prefer patterns that look like a face rather than a scrambled face. What do you see in this picture? If you see a face, you are correct and have used spatial reasoning skills.
In an article on spatial awareness and early education on a website called medium.com, they state, "Our visual and tactical world consists of objects situated in space. Gaining an understanding of the attributes for those objects and where they are, and especially how we can get to them, are some of the most important aspects of development in a young child's life. A few ways that can help in their development are a general knowledge of categorizing objects, which allows children to gain a sense of organization, spatial awareness, to assist children in successful navigation, and spatial language to help children express their needs and concerns to others. Spatial perception for early education is used primarily for children developing their cognitive skills to allow them to view a small part of an object and be able to identify the entire object as a whole. An example given by Medium.com is a dog peeking its nose from under a bed. You cannot see the entire dog, but knowing what the dog looks like and seeing the nose causes a switch to flick in the mind to tell you what the nose is attached to. Physical and mental manipulation of shapes and objects allows children to acquire the ability to coordinate movements and alignment of specific objects. For example, when a child is given a wooden puzzle, they must identify the shape and object of the piece and must identify where the location is set for. Spatial language assists children in identifying where an object is located by the words used to explain the location. For example, if I told Mariah to get the blue can from the top of the refrigerator in front of the purple cutting board, she is able to visualize where that specific object is placed and what objects to look for that surround that object.
Now we are going to talk about spatial reasoning in grades K through 8. Both Beth and I are education majors, so we one day hope to have our own classrooms. As future educators, it is important for us to know and understand spatial reasoning and how it plays into our students thinking creatively. Spatial reasoning allows students to think creatively about math, which is very helpful to those students who struggle with math. Spatial reasoning allows them to manipulate objects and numbers in a way that they understand. When a student thinks creatively about math, it allows them to fully understand the concept you are teaching. The National Council of Teachers of Mathematics, NCTM, recommends that spatial reasoning should be a large focus of pre-K through 8th grade math education. You can use spatial reasoning in various math concepts, such as the number line. You can have students demonstrate the number line and the numbers on it with blocks. Students that come from low socioeconomic backgrounds are lower achievers regarding math than those students who come from higher socioeconomic backgrounds. When spatial reasoning was introduced to them, according to Katerina Schwartz of KQED News, the lower achieving kids had such a high degree of success with these activities and showed strengths that more standardized number sentence lesson plans would never have brought up. Students who couldn't find the words to describe spatial positioning should be told to use gestures to help them describe what they are trying to explain. Using gestures usually would lead to the student finding the words to describe what they wanted to say.
Spatial reasoning is something that educators should remember is not a concept that is taught as a lesson, but is rather supported and encouraged for students to use their spatial awareness. Using this can allow students to use creative thinking in order to think outside the box in math education.
Here are our resources. Thank you for watching.